Now let us go ahead and take on question number 23, and this will test your knowledge. This will test your knowledge on IND AS 110, para 25, also appendix B 98 and 99, where there is a disposal of investment in a subsidiary, resulting in the parent losing control over the subsidiary. Is that fine?
Yes.
Let's go ahead and take on this question. Yes, sir.
As at the beginning of its current financial year, AB Limited holds 90% equity interest in BC Limited.
In
BC Limited.
BC Limited. Okay.
During the financial year, AB Limited sells 70% of its equity interest in BC Limited to PQR Limited.
What is that? 90 minus 70. I retain 20% and dispose of 70% to some person. Doesn't matter who it is. Okay. What is the name of that person?
PQR.
That doesn't matter. I dispose of 70% means I still have a 20% interest in BC Limited, right? Yes, sir.
For a total consideration of 56 crore.
That is a cash account debit, a bank account debit, rupees 56 crore. Next.
And consequently loses control of BC Limited.
Very good. I have only what? A friend in BC now. 20%. Going forward, apply IND AS 28. Next.
At the date of disposal, fair value of the 20% interest retained by AB Limited is 16 crore.
What is that? Nothing but the investment in BC debit, which is retained. What is the fair value? Is rupees 16 crore. Remember, it is B98. In that, it is subdivision point B. In that, B3. Right? The fair value of my investment in the former subsidiary. Got it? Yes, sir. You remember that? B3. We did know B98 in that A, B, C, D. A had 2 points. B had 3 points. We did only 2, right? 1 and 3. And then C and then D. Yes, sir.
And the net assets of BC Limited are carried at a value of 60 crores.
The 60 crore is like that 384. Remember?
Yeah.
In that sum, 384 million.
Yeah.
Satsuma. Yes, sir. 60 crore. Then
These net assets include the following: debt investments classified as fair value through other comprehensive income.
you saw the net assets of the subsidiary includes investment in some debt instrument, which are carried at fair value through. Oh, that means what? It is taken at fair value, and any fair value change is recognized by the subsidiary company in other comprehensive income. They create OCI reserve. Yes, sir.
Of 12 crores and related reserve of 6 crores.
But forget about the 12, which is an asset, right? What is the reserve? 6. Of this, how much? Of this 10%, non-controlling interest will be anyway added to what? NCI, no problem. Got it? But what about the 90%? What is a 90% of 6 crore? It's 5.4 crore will be there in my balance sheet as what? As OCI reserve. How should I cancel it? Very simple, sir. I will debit OCI, what? The fair value reserve debit, how much? 5.4. Don't want the NCI part. It will be a part of NCI anyway. It's only my share in that reserve, right? 90%. Debit OCI reserve 5.4 and the credit which account? For that, refer to IND AS 109. It says that IND AS 109, since you haven't done it, I'll tell you. Whenever I have an investment in a debt instrument, some debentures, investment carried at a fair value through OCI, on disposal of such investments, any balance in OCI fair value reserve will be reclassified to which account? Profit and loss account. Permitted. It can be recycled. Is that clear? Got it?
Yes, sir.
So that is given in IND AS 109. So debit OCI, nothing but the fair value reserve, debit to profit and loss account. How much? 5.4 crore. I am cancelling the reserve credit balance by giving a debit and transfer to P&L. Next, sir.
Net defined benefit liability of 6 crore.
What is that? The pension obligation. Okay, pension, there's IND AS 19. All your accounting standard 15 in those days. Employee benefits. Yes, sir. Pension liability.
of 6 crore that has resulted in a reserve relating to net measurement losses of 3 crore.
You know what happens sometimes, it's all present value, right? So what happens as per IND AS 19, there can be a change in the discount rate. Because of that, your liability can either increase or decrease. If it increases, it's a loss. And that remeasurement loss would have been taken to other comprehensive income. Now tell me, what is the amount of OCI reserve?
6 crore.
No, what is OCI reserve? 6, huh?
Net defined benefit liability of 6 crore.
That's okay. And resulting in a?
Reserve relating to net measurement loss.
How much?
3 crore.
That is a reserve.
Okay.
3 crore is a reserve. What balance? Is the reserve having a debit balance? Why? It's a loss, right? The reserve will have a debit balance, being a loss accumulated. So how do you cancel the loss?
Credit.
Credit and cancel the loss. How much? 90% of 3 crore, my share, right? How much? 2.7 crore. And debit which account? Can I debit P&L? Can I take it to P&L? No. Because IND AS 19 says that any remeasurement, loss or gain, the reserve that is created, OCI reserve, can be transferred to only retained earnings directly and not taken to profit and loss account. That is IND AS 19 in that para 122. You can't blame yourself now. Okay. It is there in IND AS 19. You'll be learning that in depth in IND AS 19. Fine. But as of now, you should know that the OCI reserve created on remeasurement of your pension obligation, that a loss again will be taken to OCI, and that cannot be transferred to profit and loss later on when the liability is settled. Is that fine? Got it?
Yes, sir.
So 2.7 crore.
So para 122 or 22?
122 of IND AS 19.
Yes, sir.
Next.
Third one, equity.
I'll show you the para also. I'll show that para. Okay, in IND AS 19. Next.
Equity investments considered not held for trading of 10 crore.
That means what? As for IND AS 109, whenever I have some equity investment, some passive investment, say 10-15%, and if I'm not holding that for trading purpose, I would have carried the investment at what? Fair value through other comprehensive income. As for IND AS 109. Okay, I'll read further.
For which irrevocable option of recognizing the changes in fair value in OCI.
I decided to carry the investment at fair value through other comprehensive income. Any change? Yes, sir.
And related FVOCI reserve.
How much?
4 crore.
I have a 4 crore reserve, right? Of that 90% is my share. How much? 3.6. How do I cancel this reserve? Credit balance. It's a gain, right? What is entry? Debit OCI fair value reserve. How much? 3.6 crore. And credit which account? Remember, debt instrument to go to which account? P&L, right here. Retained earnings. Because as per IND AS 109, it says that in case you decide to fair value or investment in equity through OCI, any balance in OCI reserve on disposal of such investment cannot be reclassified to profit and loss, can be taken only to retained earnings. Where is it given? IND AS 109. Again, you can't blame yourself. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Next.
Net assets of a foreign operation of
FCTR. That we know, right? Will be transferred to profit and
loss
account.
And related foreign currency translation reserve of 8 crore.
Again, 8 crore into 90%. 7.2 I'd have added to my OCI reserve, right? So cancel the debit and transfer to profit and loss account. So basically what happens, the first entry you want to pass is nothing but B 98. In that point A, point B and point D. What is A? I'm supposed to remove all the assets and liabilities. Also remove NCI. Got it? And what is point B? Recognize the consideration. Any investment in the former subsidiary retained. And what is D? Any gain or loss on disposal. And what is 98C? Transfer any OCI reserve to either P&L or retained earnings. So basically this sum is Appendix B 98 and 99 of IND AS 110. How was that? A wonderful sum. Okay. Just come out of the trance. Okay. Let's go ahead and take on the solution. Yes, sir. The first entry, I'm okay. You can take the solution over there. The next one, they made one table, right? For the OCI reserves. They made a table.
There is a, Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Anyway, first entry, read.
Gain or loss on disposal of investments.
Yeah, have you done the journal?
Yeah.
Go to the journal directly.
Debit
Guys, they
bank.
give a lot of theory, right?
Yeah.
It's nothing but they all para 25, which we didn't go through anyway. But anyway, you ought to go through what? Para B98 and B99. And then you write the answer. This can come for 10, 15 marks. Only number crunching will not satisfy the examiner. So always give a what? A satisfactory answer, and the answer should be what? Sufficient. Suffice. Satisfying, suffice. Give a satisficing answer. Okay. Oh, that's a term used by one of the management guru. Satisfactory and suffice. Combine this. You came with the word satisficing solution. Yes.
Debit bank for 56.
So bank account debit rupees 56, no doubt. Then
Non-controlling interest. 6
what I
crores.
can do? 10%. They haven't done NCA amount directly. I know it's 10% off or 60.
60.
Remember Satsuma? I made that one yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Remember 20% of 384
Yeah.
is 77.
Yes, sir.
You remember that? Our discussion 20% NCI on the net assets.
Yes.
384, 77. But this will work only when what? NCI measured at proportionate net assets. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
How much? 10% of 60 crore net assets. It is 6 crore debit. Then also debit investment in
Fair value. Investment in
BC. What I retain no at fair value. Yes, sir.
20% retained, which is 16 crores.
They given that 16 crore.
Yeah.
What they given? Wording?
Investment at fair value.
At fair value, right.
20%
Next.
retained.
Very good. Then
16. To gain on disposal.
That is the balancing figure. And then to
Derecognition of total net assets. Of
how much?
subsidiary.
60 crore net assets. And any goodwill given? Nothing. Nothing is given separately, right? Goodwill.
No, sir.
That's it. If it is given, to goodwill, right? And this entry is fine.
Yes, sir.
This entry is nothing but what? I'll tell you. I'll attach numbers also if you want to, like, know how they teach chess. Okay. So just see the first bank account debit is what? It is, no, B98 in that point B1. It is B1. And what is the next one? NCA what? It is A2. A2. Trust me, you can write. Next. And then investment, it is a B3.
Derecognition.
B3, retain, no?
Yeah.
Retained. And then to net asset A1. And then the gain on is what? D. Point D under B98, okay? But all these are basically from appendix B98.
Derecognition point B, right?
Point A1. I'll check it once again. A1. And gain on disposal is D. Okay, shall I call out once?
Sorry.
It is the first item, bank account debit is what? It is a B1. Okay.
Yeah.
And then non-controlling interest debit is what? A2. And investment retained debit, that is B3. And then to the net assets 60 crore, that is point A1. That is A1. And the gain on disposal, how much you got? Gain on disposal?
18.
That is a point D. It's all from para B98. Appendix B, para 98. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Now we have to apply para B98C. Got it?
Yeah.
We have 4 OCI reserves. Of these reserves, 90% will be appearing in my balance sheet, right?
Yeah.
Which I am supposed to reclassify to profit and loss or transfer directly to retained earnings. Can we record the entries instead of seeing that table?
Yes, sir.
Can we do that? Yes. So first, second entry now. What is that? Debit. What? Right, no. OCI. Right, other comprehensive income. And mention fair value reserve. Hyphen what? Fair value reserve on debt instrument. Okay. Fair value reserve on debt instrument. Debit. How much? 5.4 crore. 5.4 crore to profit and loss account. Or you can say profit or loss. To profit and loss account. I repeat, Subhash.
Yes, sir.
Debit OCI hyphen fair value reserve. Also mention debt instrument. To Profit and loss account 5.4 crore rupees. What is the next entry?
Reclassification.
That is for the net defined liability, right?
Yes, sir.
The 3 crore into 90% pass an
Yeah.
entry. But that reserve has what balance? A debit balance. Therefore, right? It is a retained earnings account debit. A retained earnings account debit. How much? Rupees 2.7 crore to write OCI and mention hyphen what? The remeasurement loss of a defined benefit liability. Nothing but the pension liability. Is that clear? Got it. Suppose that had a remeasurement gain, then what is entry? I would have debited the OCI reserve and credited retained earnings only, not P&L, right? So that is given in IND AS 19, para 122 says any remeasurement loss or gain will not be transferred to profit and loss. Shall we go to the third one? Now this is relating to what? Investment in equity. So
We did the third one.
not held for trading. You want to hold it for longer term, but you want to carry at fair value and any change in OCI. Got it? As per IND AS 109, Subhash,
Yes, sir.
your investment equity, passive investment can be either carried at fair value through profit or loss or fair value through OCI. But it's a OCI investment.
Here it's OCA.
OCI, fair value through OCI. And what is the OCI reserve? It is around how many crores? 4. What is 90%? 3.6. Pass an entry for that. Right, debit, OCI, hyphen write a fair value reserve. You can also mention what relating to equity investment. Okay. Fair value reserve debit to retained earnings. So the IND AS 109 says that any amount accumulated in OCI reserve relating to equity investment cannot be reclassified to profit and loss account. Where is it given? IND AS 109. 3.6.
Yes.
And the last entry that you know, come on here. Debit, other comprehensive income, hyphen what? FCTR, foreign currency translation reserve debit. How much? 7.2 crore. Then to profit and loss account, 7.2 crore. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Happy? Now, shall we go through the theory part, what is given? Not fully, at least a para 25. Guys, you have to write down all these notes in your notebook, right? At least make a mention of para number in the classroom. In the exam, you have to write, okay, the entire, yes sir, the literature. You done with the entries?
Yes, sir. Literature for the first one.
Which one? That's what. Basically, para 25, B98, B99, right? All that. And then you answer this question. Okay?
Paragraph 25 of
IND AS
IND AS
110.
110 states that if a parent loses control of a subsidiary, the parent A derecognizes the assets and liabilities of the former subsidiary from the consolidated balance sheet. B recognizes any investment retained in the former subsidiary at its fair value when control is lost and subsequently accounts for it and for any amounts owed by or to the former subsidiary in accordance with relevant IND ASs.
Okay. Suppose you haven't received the money from the third party, right? For the sale. Next.
That fair value shall be regarded as the fair value on initial recognition of a financial asset in accordance with IND AS 109.
IND AS 109.
Or when appropriate, the cost on initial recognition of an investment in an associate or joint venture.
Or joint venture. In our example, now it's going to be what? That 16 crore is what? Investment in associate. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Next.
C recognizes the gain or loss associated with the loss of control attributable to the former controlling interest.
Okay, then.
Paragraph B98C of IND AS 110 states that on loss of control over a subsidiary, a parent shall reclassify to profit or loss or transfer directly to retained earnings if required by other IND ASs the amounts recognized in other comprehensive income in relation to the subsidiary on the basis specified in paragraph B99.
Okay.
As per B99,
That's given, right?
yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And then you are supposed to put down these entries in your answer book. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, pause the recording and jot down the solution in your notebook. Yes, Subhash, pause it.
Unpaused, para 122.
Now, please refer to para 122 of IND AS 19 that says, the remeasurement loss again should be reclassified. Now, should be taken to retained earnings and not to be taken to profit and loss account. Yes, sir.
Remeasurements of the net defined benefit liability asset recognized in other comprehensive income shall not be reclassified to profit or loss.
Shall not be reclassified to profit or loss, nothing but not taken to profit and loss account
in a subsequent period.
Period.
However, the entity may transfer those amounts recognized in other comprehensive income within equity.
You saw you are supposed to transfer that to straight away to retained earnings that is within equity.
That's it.
Got it?
Next is current service cost.
They don't say retained, they say transferred within equity.
Within equity.
So that is para 122. Got it?
Yes.
So guys, with that we complete today's session. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.